Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Post-game show is about to start. 3 straight wins. Point streak now at 5. And you ready for this one? Points in 17 of their last 19 games. That means in 19 games, they only have 2 regulation losses. 13, 2, and 4. 30 points. Guess we should break it down with the post-game show.
Haven't won the Stanley Cup yet, though.
DLLS starts right now. Hey everybody, this is the DLLS Stars post-game show live from the podcast studio tonight because we're double barrel action with the Mavs doing a watch along right now. But stick with us for now, then check out the Mavs DLS post-game show a little while later. Craig Ludwig, Owen Newkirk, Ryan Vodder's our producer. A little bit later, Sam Nessler will be joining us live from the AAC as the Stars beat the Utah Mammoth tonight by a final score of 4-3. We'll break it all down. We have Luds going full breakdown on all 7 goals. But before we do, I took off the dress shirt and the suit tie and whatever because it's time to wear the Skyline, the DLS flag shirt. It is Black Friday. And if you haven't already, you have to take advantage of our Black Friday all the way through Cyber Monday special merchandise discounted offers. 30% off everything, including the brand new t-shirts, the face-off shirts, Lud's absolute favorite. He dreams about these
green
things.
and the black one, right?
The green and the black one, the ones that Lud's has dreams or nightmares about, depending on your perspective. They are all on sale. We've had a great start to the Black Friday week with the early access for diehards. Now we are trying to beat all the other all-city markets in our merchandise sales and the Finnish Mafia shirt. We love it so much. It's such a great-looking shirt. It was the all-time DLS best-selling shirt until they dropped a new Cowboys shirt. That shirt right there is now the second highest selling shirt in DLS history. Get that one today. It pairs really nicely with that new 99 jersey that you guys stood in line for to get today, either this morning or this afternoon. There were a lot of them, Luds, in the arena tonight, and they look pretty sharp in person, I have to say.
It looks good in there. It looks good in the arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we call it an arena anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can call it whatever you want.
Stadium, arena.
You have a little smirk when you said that. It's a little wry smile of, it looks good because...
Well, no, it's because back in the day, we saw a lot of them.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of them in town and out of town and in the buildings. And surprisingly, as the years went on the road. You know?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, now I got to look this up because if I don't get this right, I would be very upset with myself. But one of our diehards, your very close friend, suggested something, and I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Andrew. I was right. New Year's Eve. Buffalo Sabres are in town. It's not the first. I want to say they played them on New Year's Eve last year.
They did. Because I seems to me I had a bet with somebody from one of the other crews.
Oh, Mr. Stein.
And didn't pay up, did he? No,
you won
that
bet.
Yes, I said a day out and a night out. I said
if he doesn't pay up after a year, do you give him double or nothing, or does he have to? That's
just,
yeah.
What podcast is he doing again?
The Mavericks podcast. Yeah, but it's New Year's Eve. They've got to wear those jerseys for New Year's Eve, right?
Oh yeah,
that would be really fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I want to give a big shout out to a buddy of mine. You probably know him. His name is, we call him Fuel, but his name is Jeff Neal. He's been working for the Stars forever. He was a great left winger on my old beer league team a while ago. I don't know if he still plays or not, but they did a nice tribute. They did about during the intermission. I think it was during the second intermission tonight. They did one of those 4 or 5 minute videos that you put together, and he was front and center talking about being the jersey designer. He's been a big part of designing ever since.
All of the jerseys, even the Muterus one, or
no, I think
Muterus,
the
or
first one
called?
that he
Muterus?
had a hand in, I believe, according to the video, was
Muterus,
the
is that what
Victory
they call
Green.
it? Muterus?
Yeah, I remember the Muterus. But the in 2013 was the change to the Victory Green, the primary home ones, the big green with the new logo. I think he started with that. Obviously, did the Winter Classic jersey. They did a reverse retro, and so on. And into this one, they did the blackouts. They had the blackouts for 5 years. It was that long.
Doesn't seem like that.
No, it doesn't. But then they go to this one, and it didn't look good early, Luds. It looked like they were going to be in trouble, and that maybe they were going to start off on the wrong foot on the 99 jerseys. But we had Ryan run the stats. That's their 5th win this season. They're 5-1 when falling behind 2-0 in a game. I wouldn't recommend it.
No,
but they have a way of coming back and winning these games.
You know what? When you speak of that way, what they've done this year, and how many was that? 25, 26 games. How many? What are they hitting right now? How many?
That was 25 tonight.
25.
Yep.
They have found a lot of different ways to win hockey games. I mean, not playing their best, not playing 60 minutes, playing 60 minutes. Special teams sometimes were. Well, we know one side of special teams is always really good. A couple more tonight, but they've found different ways to win, and you know, for coaches, it's great because you can draw back on that kind of stuff. There's going to be a point this year. Well, maybe there won't be, but generally there's a point when you're going to lose 2-3 games in a row, and you're going to look back at some of the things that you did, just like line combinations. You know, when things get a little stale, Gully will go back to the first couple weeks and go, you know what, maybe put Steele back up there or whatever it may be. And they keep track of all those. And we need a little jump. And what do we need a little jump from, this, that?
Who's going tonight?
And the same thing with the players. You know, the players and your captain will start with Jamie. And, hey, we've been in this situation before. We've lost 2 games before, and whatever it may be. We know how to climb out of a hole. And then how to keep it on the rails. You know, like, listen, we made a point this year. We're not losing more than 2 games in a row. So all those little things and all the little different ways that you talk about, it really helps as that season gets down to the end, because ultimately when you get into the playoffs, there's going to be some of them speed bumps every once in a while.
I know you have a ton of goal breakdowns to get to, but we have time. Ryan sent me the list of the games this year where they've fallen behind 2-0 and the results. So the first one was against the Columbus Blue Jackets at home. They lost that game 5-1, and that was not a good game all the way around. That was just a bad game for the Stars. They've won 5 in a row since. Think about that. So we have, I'm trying to look at it in order of chronological order. Okay, so October 25th, fell behind 2-0 at home to Carolina. Ended up winning 3-2. The last 3 goals. Then on November the 4th, at home against the Edmonton Oilers, fall behind 2-0, come back and win 4-3 in a shootout. Then, this is not sorted in chronological order. That's okay. They go to Ottawa, Luds, fall behind 2-0, and we're thinking, here we go again. They can't win in Ottawa. They win that game 3-2 in overtime. They have the Vancouver Canucks game on the last road trip where they were down 2-0, fight their way back and win 4-0, and then tonight against the Utah Mammoth. In fact, they've done it 3 times at home and twice on the road. It's good. I don't think falling behind 2-0 at home 3 times or 4 times already through 12. So a third of your home games through 13. No, it's 12th home game tonight. Probably not a good formula.
Yeah, and you know what? When you mention those teams, and Carolina, that's a good team.
Very good
now,
team.
The somebody would argue it's early in the year. Nobody was really buttoned up early in the year. Edmonton, not
good right
Ottawa,
now. Could be good.
You know, so in the middle.
Ottawa, you just don't know. I think they're hot right now.
Vancouver. So
Vancouver,
you know what I mean.
Vancouver, not good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I mean, it's good. Again, I don't think it really matters how good the team is. It's you found a different way to win, and you found things that you shouldn't do because that's what puts you in a 2-goal hole, whatever that may be. And so there's just little learning things all the way through.
Ben, our GM, sending me messages in Slack. 1, 2, 3. He gave us a challenge this afternoon. Said if you guys can sell 50 more Stars shirts over the course of this weekend, from Friday through Monday, he would get us the other face-off shirt that we have not picked. I picked the green one. I'm pretty sure you also picked the green one.
I don't ever remember anybody asking me to pick one.
You said it to Ben.
I sent it to Ben?
You said it to him in person. You wanted to.
We know he don't listen to me.
Well, do you remember why we had to wait a little longer for him? Because you had to get what we quote unquote an actual human being size, I believe was what you called it.
Oh yeah, no.
And we had to wait a little bit because of that
kid size.
That's right. You can't get the Sam size. Well, apparently we've
Nothing
sold.
wrong with a kid size. It's just would be weird me wearing one.
If you had a skin tight Muscle Beach look, like just had to like wetsuit it on, that's probably a little too tight.
Yeah, not good.
We're down to 41 to go, Luds. So since he issued that, we've had 9. We've sold 4.
How much time do we got?
Until through Monday.
Monday? This like in a few days from now,
Yes.
Monday, or like a month from now?
No, like through Cyber Monday. But this is a big, right? Look at T.O. We need the Finnish Mafia in a hoodie option. Now, I will definitely send that up the chain of command. We don't have that kind of pull, but
I was up on the roof today. Christmas light thing, right? You know what I was wearing?
Finnish Mafia shirt.
I was wearing a hoodie.
Oh, you would have.
But it wasn't from this
was it
channel.
The PHLY
That's the
misprint?
one it was, yeah.
Yeah, we have, we all got, they had some extra Philly PHLY
That or they
hoodies.
sent us the wrong ones or something.
No. It was misprinted because it had PHLY on it, and then underneath it said DLS.
Oh.
Right? So if you look at it closely, it's Finnish Mafia in a hoodie. I'm sending that to Ben right now. TO request.
Wasn't he always listening?
Yeah, I'm slacking it to him too. So obviously
he's watching the live ride along upstairs.
The Mavs are upstairs doing their I love it. Let's calls it a ride along.
Whatever.
You called it the drive by earlier this week, but it's the watch along. Either way.
Look out the window sometimes over here. There kind of is a couple drive-bys.
What do you take away from this one? Because obviously we talked about the fact that they've won again, that they keep stacking points. They're up to, I believe, 36 points in 16 wins through 25 games. That's really, really good. Where are you at right now for this one tonight?
Again, I think they're if they wouldn't have won this hockey game, whether it was by a goal or a goal and a half or, a couple goals that was an empty net or whatever it may be.
Oh, Ben's in the chat saying, no, he's watching us.
No, he's not.
Yeah, look, he literally wrote, I'm watching you guys.
He's probably got 3 or 4 on. He's got 2 on. He's just saying he's watching.
So what do you think, Ben? Can you get a Finnish Mafia hoodie for T.O. and everybody?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Anyway, keep going.
What was the question?
What do your big takeaways of this one tonight?
You know what? I just think with the way everything has gone for this group, if they would have lost it, it would be understandable.
Yes.
Long road trip, the holidays they talked about, they didn't get to come home
You
after
hear
the
everybody
game.
talk about that trap game.
There's a lot of things that could have gone wrong, but they didn't miss a beat when they got home. Big night, jerseys, all this kind of stuff. Again, I just look at it as this is a group that is focused on doing the same things every night, the same good things every single night. And they're finding different ways to, as we said, a couple goals tonight. Sometimes the power play doesn't work. That's very seldom. There's been more times that they've given up a power play goal, but tonight they were good. It's last couple games, they've been clean on that. So I just think it's a good thing when they can come back after all these different kind of circumstances and find ways to win games.
So according to NHL stats, the rain comes pouring down. I heard that against the windows. This is Dallas's 5th multi-goal comeback of the season. We talked about down 2-0. They tie the Anaheim Ducks for the most multi-goal comebacks so far this season. And
didn't the Ducks come back on Dallas? Did they have the lead the whole time? The Ducks came in here.
No, I think it was that way. Yeah, I have to look it up now. I can flip through it real quick.
I didn't know if they came back on Dallas and that's one of theirs, or they just
that was a back and forth game if I remember correctly, because there was a lot of scoring.
It was in a high octane game.
Yeah,
that was our first glimpse of a team that's moving in the right direction.
You're absolutely right, Lud. So the Stars had a 2-0 lead after the first period, and then by the end of the second period, they trailed 4-3, ended up losing 7-5.
Yeah,
and I remember Gully saying in that game, "Love that first period.
Yeah,
don't like anything else after that."
Move on.
Yeah,
next question.
Pretty much. Miro Heiskanen played his 500th career NHL game tonight. According to NHL stats, the only other defenseman in franchise history with as many points. Miro has 304 points in 500 games. There are 3 defensemen that have that many points in their first 500 games with the club. Craig Hartsburg, 368. Yep. John Klingberg, 338. And Sergei Zubov with 313. That is, Hartsburg, Klingberg, Zubov, Heiskanen. Those are 4 of the elite offensive defensemen in franchise history.
Well, and they're all just that. And I don't think that, I'll speak for Zuby, I don't think Zuby got enough credit for as good as he was defensively. I had the luxury of playing with him for a bit. And strong. He wasn't the most physical guy, but people will talk to you that played against him. Like, you go into a corner with him, you wouldn't come out with the puck. He would find a way to come out with the puck, and he wouldn't let you come out. So I don't. Anyway, yeah, Klinger, for me, Klinger was an offensive guy, right? And I think he tried to work on his defense, but unfortunately for Klingberg, he's had some hip issues, and that's kind of derailed him. But I think an offensive guy. But and again, go back into the Minnesota North days. But I think Miro and Zuby are the 2 that are up there, and they're different kind of guys and different kind of players, the way they go about their business. But Zuby can skate as fast as Miro, going side to side, with just shuffling his feet, because he never looked like he was going for that, but he kept on moving up the ice. Heiskanen, he controls the game in a different way.
Up next, let's talk about goals, because there were a lot of them, at least in the first 2 periods. Stars win 4-3 over the Utah Mammoth right here on DLLS. And you'll see that Luds is going to kick back and relax a little bit, because I got both of these.
Sam's not here.
Yeah, Sam's not here. So I'm going to talk about Shopify. What kind of dreams did you have when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? I was thinking about this earlier today. I think my first answer was I wanted to play shortstop for the Boston Red Sox until I was probably a teenager, and then quickly realized that I might fall a little short of that goal. But I'll tell you one thing. How about now? When you think about starting your own business, how about a podcast? Luds, we should start our own podcast and compete with DLL. No, no, I don't know about that. Well, Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Shopify powers the DLLS merch store, buying shirts like the Skyline, the DLLS green flag, that's the Stars flag, Finnish Mafia, and many more. Shopify has got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more. They also have the AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. Love it. Now let's talk about Prize Picks. I did another Prize Picks lineup tonight just so we could take a look at it. Now, where the heck did they go? There it is. Did a big one tonight. A 6-pick lineup on Prize Picks. I hit 5 of 6. So a $20 lineup ended up winning me $35. I was one miserable Logan Cooley shot on goal. He had 1. I was more than 1.5. He didn't get to 2. From winning $220 on that $20 bet on that lineup. But let me tell you, it's still nice to win. I won 35 on a $20 lineup, and I'm very happy with that because that is a plus. Plus, the flexibility of that means that I didn't have to go 6 for 6 or not win at all. So with Prize Picks, you can stack the same player as up to 3 times of the same lineup, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, I've done enough talking for a little while, and thankfully, all I need to do now is keep setting you the ball, the spike over the net. It's volleyball time because we have 7 goals to go through and stuff in between. Let's start where we always do, but usually not in the first minute of the hockey game. 57 seconds in, the Stars are behind, and it was ugly early.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the guy that screwed you tonight, Logan Cooley, the couple things happened on this one here. Felt bad for Leon Bischel here. He took a step. He was actually backing out of the zone here. Puck bobbles a little bit. I think he thinks he can keep this puck in the zone. It doesn't. And if you get a good look at it, the puck actually bounces over his stick. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people going north, and he was going south. So then it turns into, in the neutral zone, it turns into a 2-on-1 on his partner, Petrovic. Well, then what happens here, both of these guys from Utah are on their offside. They're both dangerous. And on the pass that goes across from Petro's left to his right, once that first puck goes across, it can't come back. Now you can look at Jake. Jake has kind of moved over. He's going to come over here. He knows he's got somebody else over on their offside. Better shooting angle. Jake spots him. He's set up clean. But then Petro turns his body and allows it to come back to your buddy Cooley, who screwed you again on that shot, and he just taps one in an empty net. So not much Jake can do in this.
Easier than that one, right?
No. You know, and again, if Petro would have, I don't know why Petro turns to face him, because you know it's a 2-on-1. Maybe he thinks that back checker is going to get back into the play, which he wasn't even close. But you just got to you just have to make sure the puck doesn't come back.
Is he in scramble mode after the pass gets across the first time?
No, you should
like almost like a panic thing, like
but
it got by me
and where the puck got across was above the tops of the circles, so your goaltender has plenty of time to adjust to that. Now, when it starts to get below the tops of the circles, he can't adjust again generally. And that's where when Petro turned his body again, if he'd have just stayed in the middle of the ice and just let him stay over there, I think then now again, nobody understands that a 2-on-1 is actually a 2-on-2. The goaltender counts, and so Jake gets over.
Yeah, they're not doing a 2-on-1 on an empty net.
No. So anyway, he'll learn from that one.
Mikko Rantanen had a great chance, great pass by Miro from the right circle, like almost the bottom of the right circle, right through the seam. But Vitek Vanacek made an excellent save to deny Rantanen early. And then we go for a little while. Robo had a couple of looks, and then a power play for the Mammoth. And they did get a grade A redirection from Gunther right on the top of the crease. Otter made a great save. That one I think feels like a breakdown, but the Stars went 2 for 2 on the kill tonight. You did a big breakdown in the pregame show. Did you feel they were as solid tonight as they were in Seattle?
No, there was a little bit reverting a little bit back, but I think that all in all, you can see they're making steps, and so I think that's the most important part. And again, when your goaltenders, again, just like a 2-on-1, a 5-on-4 is a 5-on-5, you leave those shots, and if you leave them in the right areas of the ice, your goaltender's got a better chance of making that save, obviously.
Well, we're going to talk more about Jake and some history in a little bit, but this one doesn't necessarily shroud him in glory. Is the second goal for Utah tonight comes from Kevin Rooney, his first goal in the NHL this season, first goal for Utah as he made his Mammoth debut. He's not a rookie, but he was called up today when they put Olli Mata on IR. He gets in the lineup. It's also interesting, Luds, when you see a call-up player go right in the middle of one of their scoring lines, their top six.
Well, that shows that they're giving them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
On this goal, though, there's a couple things that happen, and again, this is Sam Steele that I'm showing. I think he thought this puck was going to come around the wall out the defenseman, and so he takes off. And now it doesn't seem like much, but it's important because now look at how long it takes him to get back. You can't even barely see him in the picture here. So from here, now we got some questions because if you knew how many times I've looked at this.
Oh,
and
I bet.
Miro comes out. And again, look where the shot's coming from. It's at the top of the circles or above.
High slot.
And here, to me, tells a great picture. I think Jake sees everything cleanly. I wasn't sure if it just tipped the top of Miro's stick. And again, and my eyes over here, Ryan, it didn't. But I wanted to know, how did it miss Jake's glove by that much? So it looks like it may have changed directions. But then we gotta look from the shooter's eyes. It didn't. I don't know what happened here to Jake, if he just misplayed it, if he over pushed. But you can see, well, we had a shot. Jake's got his glove up where he typically has it, up by his shoulder. I don't know if he just got a late jump on it or he slid a little bit, he pushed a little bit too far to his right, but somehow it eludes him and finds that corner.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the push or the way he read it, but it looked like he was reading that shot was going to go to right, and it kind of crossed him up and went the other way.
But when you see it from behind the shooter, he's set and he's sitting here like this, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how it missed him, to be honest with you. I'm sure he's probably thinking the same thing. And then I thought, well, maybe it touched Miro's skate. Nothing we saw looked like it changed direction.
So I didn't think that was a great goal from Jake. It's one that you say, well, the polite way is to say you want it back. One that I don't think he's going to be real happy with. But good old Dallas power play gets him back in the game. And boy, has Roope Hintz been good since he came back from that injury. He's at a point a game pace, and he gets his 8th goal of the year, another power play goal. Rantanen and Heiskanen. It's an all-finished power play goal. This one, 2-1, and going into the end. This is after Jamie Benn got high sticked. Luds, Jamie's pretty quiet off the ice, but he got high stick by Dursey, goes down. He's bleeding all over the place, and he on all fours screams at the referee because they did not call it initially.
He was leaking. And again, good call. Hard to miss this one. Hey, do we have the Ben shirt by any chance?
The captain?
Is it hard to get to the Jamie Benn shirt that we have? Might have been a good time to wear that visor.
I actually said that to Sam.
But I'm thinking that could be a good time.
That might have saved him.
we got to send Jamie one of these shirts. So anyway, Jamie takes one for the team, and then the power play goes to work, and they have plenty of time, right? Now, I'm telling you, the reason I'm circling Hintz here is I want you to understand what Roope does. He gets to the front of the net, then he goes back over to the corner. And so now the defenseman isn't really quite sure where he is. But what he does is he buys his time. Now, this is timing. Once Miro gets the puck back, Hintz has already started to slowly get to the front of the net. Now that pass comes back to Rantanen. Rantanen one-times it. Now that defenseman that's on his side has already gotten too far away, right? And so what happens here, as he's coming back, he gets his stick blade on this puck. And he does tip it. I couldn't tell of everything if it hit Hintz's stick or his skate. The more I looked at it, I think it got him in the skate. Then ultimately it goes between the goaltender's legs. But what's key to that whole thing is Hintz buys his time. He goes to the outside. He comes back to the front of the net. He lets everything happen around the perimeter. That's when he takes his step, and he just slowly sneaks in the back door. And then obviously if it's Rantanen, it's going to be in some neighborhood where you can get something on it. He does, and gets his goal.
Hintz missed 5 games after the Carolina game in late October and then returned against the Ducks in November 6th. He has 7 goals in that span and a pile of assists. He has been a consistent. I actually had a clip I asked Goalie this morning about his play and how underrated he is as a top-line center in the NHL. We didn't get a chance to play it in the pregame, but Goalie said that he absolutely thinks that and I didn't get the specifics of it, but he said there's a checklist of 5 things that he considers if you're going to be. Oh, you have that clip? Oh, let's play the clip then. This is from the small.
Absolutely. If you look, and we've talked analytics here before, but if you look at analytics from us, it's no question that our analytics started to trend up when Roope came back. He touches that much of the game. He's a transporter. He gets you out of your zone and into the other zone. He's good defensively. He can finish. He's a very, very well-rounded player. Big guy, too. Can play against the other team's top guys. That checks all the boxes of a top-line center, right? You touch all parts of the game, PP, PK, 5-on-5, overtime, 3-on-3, and then you can play against other teams' top players and produce against them. It checks all the boxes of a top center.
Is he underrated on face-offs in the league, do you think?
I just think he's underrated everywhere. He's good at everything. And, again, going through that checklist, we used to have a 5-point checklist of what a top center is, and Roope touches them all.
That was what we were going to play pregame, but it works pretty well for postgame as he scores his 8th of the year.
Yeah, and everything that Goalie said, with the exception of one thing, I think there is all because of his skating ability. Mm-hmm. I mean, Roope can skate, and we know that he can fly. He's one of the fastest guys in the league. But the other part is his head. He thinks the game well, and like I said, just on the timing kind of things. But what we've seen from him over and over again, and I know early on I gave him a hard time at times when he get hit by a puck or get a check and he miss the next game. He plays through a lot of things. I think he's matured in that way. And just by him showing you that he goes to the front of the net every single time when he's out there on that power play, you'll find him in front of that net.
Well, we were talking about that the other night look at Seattle not getting interior enough. Mm-hmm. And the Stars players, I don't know if it's from going to the Western Conference Final 3 years in a row and realizing what it takes to win in the playoffs, or if it's Gully saying we need to play that way earlier in the year, we can't wait. But they seem, Luds, like they're going to those interior areas more through 25 games than last year.
But they're not going there. Jamie Benn goes to the front end and stays there.
Yes.
So what you're finding now, because of the power play unit, when you have Robo, you have Rantanen, and you have Merrill, they move it around the perimeter, and the other two guys stay down on both sides of the net. When it goes to the right side of the ice, that's when Wyatt sneaks into the front of the net. When it goes around the horn to the other side, that's when Hintz comes there. But it's a timing thing. So they're not getting there and getting tied up with a defenseman, which makes it more difficult. But they're always there on a shot, which is important because if they're not getting there and a shot's just getting through, the goaltender sees it. So they've got this way where they all switch off, and one goes there, the other one comes back, and they're outlets. And so you've got a lefty on one side in Hintz, you got a righty on the other side and Wyatt down on the goal line. That's how Robo, when he slides in the slot, probably from that side or Rantanen from the other side, you can get them one-timers coming off the goal line. So, and their passes, when you watch them, get the second power play unit out there every once in a while. These guys will make 5-6 passes that are tape to tape to tape to tape to tape. You get the other group out there once in a while, and you might get 2 or 3, and they get split up. Yep. And the thing is, you want to say you're just staying on the perimeter, but they are making things happen because they're so dangerous, and so many of their passes go through the seams as penalty killers. You're kind of either diddle-daddle or wind your watch. You're not sure which one to do.
And I think that Razor probably stole it from you because I feel like you said it first, but I've heard him in the last couple of games talk about all 5 players on that first power play unit for the Stars are threats to score. Yep. Because of that, you can't focus in on one. If you key in on one, you're going to leave a goal-scoring threat open, and they have so many weapons that instead of being like, oh, well, there's not enough pucks to go around, they've figured out how to, like you said, move it so quickly that they can score from any one of those 5.
I will tell you what's happening to the 4 guys. Whatever team it is when they go out there in the PK, they're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid of making a mistake. They're afraid of going a little too far and not necessarily making a mistake. It's just that the puck moves so fast and so accurately between each other, they can't get away from a certain area of the ice. And so that's what breaks it down.
All right, up next, we got lots more goals because we only got to the second period. Second period had a lot of goals too. We'll talk about it on DLLS.
You know the moment one always talks about, the one when you realize that you left your favorite sunglasses at the bar. Well, that would be me. Or they fall off the boat. That would be me. Yeah, done that before. But when we found Shady Rays, that would not be me. That would be Owen, because I don't have any Shady Rays. Owen has 7 pairs of them, and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. Seriously, good looking, polarized, durable, and not, most importantly, not stupidly expensive. Owen screwed that up one time. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day 1, he's done that 3 times somehow. He's broken his sunglasses on day 1. Christmas coming right around the corner. Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, no replacements. So now I actually wear my sunglasses. That's written here. I don't have any, so I don't wear them. These 2 guys do. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code DLLS35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Thank you, Les. Let's talk about Wild Fork Foods. We were talking about the skyrocketing, easy for me to say, beef prices. It's been in the news a lot over the last few weeks. Well, guess what? One of the things that I was very impressed with was how reasonable the prices were at Wild Fork Foods. We went there last week as part of DLS. They have a big new partnership with us, and they have it all. And when I mean it all, they have over 700 items, including 500 at under $10 per pound. And what really stands out is they have everything from very reasonably priced ground beef to the most expensive cuts of Wagyu and even crazier steaks that I even necessarily wasn't all. I mean, Lud, we're talking like a couple $100 a pound, crazy stuff, but they have it. So if you are a meat grilling connoisseur,
Where do you go shopping where it's a couple $100 a pound?
I'm telling you, they have some fancy cuts. Wild Fork Foods, they have all of it. And of course, everything within your budget. And then, so if you really want to splurge, they have that as well. Meat, seafood, you name it, regular beef, poultry, pork, and stuff like ostrich, rabbit, alligator, side dishes. and desserts. And I keep looking at Luds because they said they think their best dessert there is this key lime pie. I can't wait to try it. It looks fantastic. Locations in Plano, Frisco, North Richland Hills, Flower Mound, Wiley, Addison, Las Colinas, Prosper, and Louisville. Check out their organic grass-fed ground beef. 85% is at $5.60 per pound. That's for each of 2 pounds when you buy 2. That's about as best as I've seen out there. You've got to try them at one of their 9 area DFW locations. Learn more at wildforkfoods.com. All right.
Key lime pie, that's my kryptonite.
I'm telling you, it looks amazing. I haven't tried it yet, but we will we'll find a way. All right, let's bring Sam on if he's ready. There he is. Sam, we got through the first period breakdown. So right now fans are eagerly wondering what happens to a 2-1 lead for the Mammoth.
I'm gonna take a guess. The Stars are gonna score some power play goals. That's gonna be my prediction for tonight. I'm gonna put a prize picks bet on that one.
What do you have for us from post-game reaction to that one?
Yeah, the most interesting things to me were 2 things. So I asked every player and Glenn Golitzin about how they felt things were coming along, because Glenn Golitzin preached over and over again early on to us, to his team, that it was going to take some time, right? Lud's talked about it might be game 40, it might be game 60 when they finally start to figure this out. From my perspective, it seems like they're not there. They're not playing 60 minutes and dominating hockey, right? But they are playing longer stretches without those huge gaps, those big 10, 15, 20 minutes where they're just getting swarmed in their own end, unable to get the puck out of their own end. They're putting those longer stretches together where they're playing Dallas Stars hockey, and that means playing very well defensively, keeping teams to the outside, and using your speed up the ice in the rush, and then obviously getting in on the forecheck, which we saw tonight was a huge key to their success. And they all said the same thing. It feels like it's slowly starting to develop, and that's for multiple reasons. That's because they're starting to understand the systems and not necessarily the systems, what the coaches want, what they want them to do, and playing with the instincts that Glenn Golitson's talked about this whole 25 game stretch, which is stop thinking, do I need to go here and chase this guy? Do I need to go here? Just play hockey. And we started to see that kind of develop a little more. And then Mikko Rantanen said, they've talked about over and over again how they have to find a way when they do have a bad shift or a bad 5 minutes, whatever it might be. And we saw it tonight that they analytically, they controlled most of this game, but a couple bad turnovers, a couple bad plays, and they're down 2-0. They talked about how to stop that bleeding right there. Say, you know what? We made 2 mistakes. We've made 2 bad plays. We've had 5 bad minutes where we can't get the puck out. It needs to stop right now. And from what I've seen the last week to 10 days, they found a really good way to do that. And they've really avoided that long stretch where they just can't do what they want to do. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is Glenn Golitzin was asked about the New Jerseys and how he felt, with the crowd being excited and the retro night and everything. And he actually said, look, we were gassed today. He was like, we saw it after morning skate, guys coming in, you could see it on their face. They're tired, 3 and 4 with travel, with the Thanksgiving kind of thrown in the middle of it. This team has played a lot of hockey. They've played a lot of tough hockey, a lot of come from behind hockey. And he said, we were looking for any energy possible. And they said at one point, the coaches were standing there looking at the jerseys. They were like, we like these jerseys. We like the way they look. The team seems to be energized by the fact that they're wearing this, cool retro throwback. The fans were excited. They were all wearing them. The holiday season, he actually said that gave them energy to push back in that game. He said at the point it was 2-0, they very easily could have gone and just kind of drifted away, lost the game 4-1, had all the excuses in the world to do so. But Jamie Benn, Mikko Rantanen were very vocal on the bench and just letting this team know that they could play a lot better. And I thought that was a cool little way of using the New Jersey, whether he's just trying to sell more of them or he means it. It definitely worked tonight.
I'm just looking at a couple still shots that were posted, and Luds, they are really, I mean, that's the thing. Whenever something's unveiled, I always say I need to see them in action. I need to see them on the players, in a game, on TV, in person. They look better than my first reaction. I liked them before, but they just look really sharp.
Look great.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that scares me is when I'm looking at them pictures and, we kind of wore something similar to that. That's about as fast as I was moving, too.
Still shots, just freezing on that. Sam, did anyone bring up the stat that you and I were tweeting about after the game about Jake Oettinger's milestone of tying Ed Belfour coincidentally or not, fittingly, considering you wore a Belfour inspired helmet, is take a look at where he is in the franchise goalie wins category.
Yeah, I asked Glenn Goldson about it, and he did. I think he did it in 39, 40 less games than Belfour did, which is just, it's crazy to see these guys start to climb these ranks because you realize you're like, all right, this guy is one of the better goalies they've had in a long time, right? They've had a great team, so he's winning a lot of games. And then you see the list, and you're like, oh, wow, this guy's really had a good time. And Glenn Goldson said, I haven't been around a long time, but I've seen what Jake can do. And he said, you look at Ed Belfour. Belfour beat guys like Curtis Joseph, Grant Fuhr, Dominic Hasek, basically Patrick Waugh. Every goalie that's in the Hall of Fame or on the big lists across the league, Belfour beat. Not only beat, but beat on the way to the Stanley Cup, whether it was to get to the final or whether it was to actually win it in '99, as Luds knows well. And he just said that's just the thing you have to take in here is that this team has a lot of special players. And I know it's a different game, so some of these numbers are hard to compare, but we're looking at Wyatt Johnston becoming the first player to score 10 power play goals this season. Every week I feel like Wyatt breaks some Stars franchise record or climbs some sort of rank. It's just going to be more and more because they have so much depth on this team. Luds, how do you feel the depth has been this year? Because for me, you're looking at all the guys they're missing. And I know games haven't been perfect and they've had to find ways, but Capobianco steps up or Petrovic steps up or a forward scores a big goal. It just feels like they are building a team that's withstanding injuries so that when the injuries come back, they're going to be even better.
Sam, I think what's happening with these guys is they're all understanding and they're grasping and grabbing on to that they have a role to play on the team, whether it's a big one, bigger one, a little one. It's my piece of the game is this, and this is what I do consistently every night. And yeah, they're not going to have perfect games, but I think and let's talk about Oscar Beck. Owen was talking about him earlier to me tonight about getting pucks out all the time along the wall. That's his little thing. That's what he does.
Yep.
That's when you have that player that does that. And back in the day, we had those with Dave Reed and Pat Verbeek. Them pucks were going to get out. We knew it. And so from a coach's standpoint, I know I can count on that guy. And so I think what's happening here is Gully's feeling that he can rely on each one of these guys in a different part of the game, in a different time in the game, whether it's down a goal, up a goal, end of a period, whatever it may be, face-offs, things like that. So I think they're all getting their little piece of the pie.
I got to ask Luds because I was thinking it the whole game. What did you think of Esa Lindell tonight? Because I mean, that guy was laying some lumber on the cross checks on everybody wearing a Utah sweater.
You know what? There was a time, Sam, and I think we probably talked about it in here, early in the season. I felt like he looked slow. I said he looked slow, and he was I think he was kind of wading into the season. And maybe that's exactly what he was doing. Going, dude, I've been down this before. Games 1 and 10 and 12 to me. But now I think you're seeing him be more assertive. And, and again, I think that everybody knows he's a great defender. Okay, he stays out there for all of penalty kills, and he's a good role guy to have with Miro right now. But they don't think of him as being the guy that's going to whack and hack and get you in the right spot in your hand or on your ankle and all those little kind of things. So I think as your career goes on, you try to add little things to your game, and maybe this is a little bit of something that he's adding. And not only that, we're seeing him jump up in the play. I mean, I don't know how many times we've seen him down below the hash mark in the offensive zone. So it's nice to see that they don't just settle in and, well, this is who I am. He's just adding a little more oomph to his game, it seems like.
And Sam and I were talking about depth as far as you lose Harley to injury, you lose Lundqvist to injury, you lose Lyubushkin to injury. They've got Petrovic starting in the lineup, which was obviously one we thought maybe should have been anyway. But then you've got Capobianco and Kolyachonok also playing well in the role they're supposed to. And you and I, Luds, were talking about this quite a bit. It looked like Kyle Capobianco was feeling really confident tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's in on one of these goals. I mean, Coco Cabana is now, he's taking it to another level. And so, and that's exactly what it is. Like, I don't think in the beginning of the year, when he gets a chance to get in the lineup, he's not going to be forechecking. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, where are we going here? So now I think they're comfortable. But again, I give credit to the coaches, and I give credit to Elaine to saying, hey, You're playing well. Let's push it a little bit.
Yeah.
You can, we trust you now. You can recognize when to and when not to.
Sam, I don't know
You
if
said
they've made an update on the schedule, but I see that they have a team day off scheduled for tomorrow, and then a surprisingly normal 10:30 morning skate. You're shaking your head there.
They
For a
they
5
told us
o'clock
they're
game?
gonna they told us they're going to let us know tomorrow. I have a feeling it's going to be canceled and they're going to not.
I was going to say
That's
they
my
never
guess.
skate at 10:30 for a 5 o'clock game. That seems
Yeah,
like.
and then
you imagine
Goldson
never
staff,
skate. You
Goldson
never go
staff
out for a
doesn't like to
5
do it
o'clock
early.
Can you imagine bringing the guys in at 10:30? They're done by 11:30 or so. Home at 12 to come back by.
Back at
Well,
2:30.
that I've seen before. Like, you won't skate, but if you want to come down, it happens more on the road than it does at home. You want to get them out of bed.
You can get them into the meeting room and do a video or something.
Wake up and walk or go for a walk or something like that.
You know what's interesting? I was going to say, Luds, you used the word confident, and Luds, you just talked about the coaching staff with, which I think it's Capo Bianco. At least that's what Josh says. So I got to figure that one out. But
Coco Cabana works okay.
Yeah, we can just call him that. But Kyle actually said that he's started to just not only feel confident, but the coaches are literally telling him to play his style. I mean, you said it perfectly, Luds. The coaching staff has basically been trying to tell him, we called you up here because of how you play. We don't want you to come up here and play a shelled version of yourself. And he said, they're just allowing me to be free. They're pushing me in skates. They're, in practices, they're telling me, go push in on that forecheck, go use your legs to get around that breakout. And then Glenn Goldson said that, when you call a player up, you can't put a lasso on them. He said, you can't call a guy up because they're playing well and then tell them to pump the brakes. And Goldson said, we've actually been drilling down on him and telling him, play your game. Play the way you play. That's why you're here. So that's interesting. You guys kind of both nailed that right on the head, and I love it.
Hey, Sam, I don't think it's Evan Bouchard free, play your game free. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little too free. That's like
should be
letting it just hang out there and do whatever you want. That's not that kind of free.
No,
Sam, we got to hit
way.
to break, but we very much appreciate it. I'm sure you're not going to stick around for the fourth segment, but let us know about Sunday, because there's one guy who would love to not do 2 trips to the AAC on a Sunday afternoon.
Go Canes.
Oh, boo. Well, whatever. Yeah, there we go. Sam Nessler. I was going to say something, but Syracuse is just dreadful this year, so it doesn't even matter. All right, up next, more breakdowns, super chats. Can we get it in before overtime? Luz is going to try here on
it's
DLLS.
getting in before overtime. Airport, here I come. But I know you haven't heard of this lately, but there is this face-off collection and some shirts and some Black Sunday and all this good stuff going on, and they're still green and they're still black. All right, and
Luz, we're down to 39 to go for our goal. We went from 50 to 39.
See, there you go. People listen when Ben speaks.
Ago.
All right, well, here's the Black Friday Cyber Monday deal. You can save up to 75. Nope, 90%. I was going to change it to 75. Did it go 35 or 30 to 90?
I think it's 30 to 75. Maybe some
There's a
ones in there.
few little obstacles that are laying
know.
around that nobody's taking. You get 90% off.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, go out there and run, grab your shirts. Cyber Monday, I don't know what that means. What are you, computers?
Yeah, so Cyber Monday, short of it, is they had Black Friday for years, and then when people started doing online shopping, they decided to make hey, buy some stuff online and get deals on Monday instead of going into stores. Well, guess what? Now that everything is online, even Black Friday, you can get all your online stuff.
So you've ordered shirts online, right?
Of course.
From how long is it taking you to get it?
Depends on the shirts. Some of them are very fast. If you order one that's brand new and available,
okay.
only
So
for
if I want the
pre-sale,
Finnish Mafia, which apparently we're not number one anymore.
If they're in stock, if you want the Finnish Mafia, should be getting them pretty quickly.
Well, you sound like an ad on TV. What is pretty quickly?
Why are you assuming that I'm the guy in
because
the warehouse?
I saw you the other day. You have 14 shirts you bought. 18 shirts you bought.
Yeah.
Okay. How long do you get? How long does it take?
Some of them, because of pre-sale, have taken a while. I can't remember the last time I ordered one that was in stock, because usually I order them.
It sounds like he's trying to tap dance around.
The answer is I don't know.
Okay. Well, you could have just said that.
Well,
even though you've bought 18 of them.
I have. Usually in a group.
What's the fastest one of them has come?
I don't know. Maybe a few days. The usual.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Just depends. Right. If it's available and they'll send it to you.
All right, let's move on because we're not going to overtime.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget, sign up to be a diehard. You can get an extra bonus and a free shirt and all that fun stuff. Black Friday deal. Help us out. Let's get back to first place. Okay. Luds, we're in the second period now.
Where are we?
Jamie Benn scores. and celebrates like we don't usually see from the
Big
captain.
smile on him, huh? What was
Fist
so big
pump.
about that goal? 401, 402? Why is that?
401.
Why is that such a big goal?
Maybe
Get
because he
away
got
from it?
high sticked in the face, so he wanted to get him
Took one?
back.
Yeah.
They bled a little bit, so he had that one.
Here's this is actually you had to see it. We talk about forecheck. Here's some Dallas Stars. What did Gully want in the preseason? A little 1%? 1%.
More physicality.
Well, here's a little bit of that physicality.
Foxa.
And so what the Foxa does here on the forecheck, but what's important down there, okay, what I have circled there, it's the next frame, and we're on a timer here, that one right there. Nobody can tell me what that is because you can barely see it. Well, that was Simachev's skate blade. It comes off his skate. Then what happens, and everybody's wondering, how does Jamie Benn get so wide open? Well, here's what happened. Is
Because
Jamie
the Utah
ultimately gets
defender
his puck
can't
out
skate.
here, and you've got, well, so first off, Sendlin here goes to pick this puck up, and he takes off, and it bounces over his stick, and that defenseman that's way over there to the right of the goal, right there, I drew an arrow on that guy. He's only got one blade on his skate. On two skates, he's only got one blade, so he can't even get up. Jamie takes his time. Crooked arrow. Jamie takes his time, and he goes underneath the goaltender. So, and I just drew this one here, and I did try to say yay on here, but I spelled it Y-A-H, and Ryan said, I can't leave that up there.
That would be yeah.
Yeah, I know, but same thing.
I mean,
just
that
want
would
to show
still
you.
work. Yeah.
Look at the fans getting into the game right here.
So according to GM Ben, shirts that are not on pre-sale and are in stock arrive in about a week. And
Okay,
then,
well, that's
And then he also said that you are the best spokesperson ever in all caps.
that's why we're not going to be doing these things live
That's
anymore.
right. Yeah. Record them and make them right. All right.
I
so
think that's thanks to me.
Luds,
That's thanks to me.
62 seconds later, the Dallas Stars have their first lead of the
Who got
night.
that one?
Jason
Was that
Robertson.
Robo? Yeah. Well, shocker. Robo gets it. Now,
But on the same thing, it's
okay,
another forecheck.
well, look at this. You see who this is right here? That's Coco Cabana right there. That's a defenseman. That's a right-handed defenseman right there. And there goes here. Watch
That's
Coco
well
go.
written.
Yeah, I know. Good writing on this
My
thing. Right?
goodness.
I spelt it right too and everything. Well, Coco's not taking his foot off the gas. Down creates a little bit of a problem behind the net. But what's important when this puck comes out, and he does spot Robo coming here. Now, if we go back a frame, I don't think we'd see it. Maybe it's not on there. Robo came off the bench. He jumps off the bench on this one on the rush up the ice. Anyways, Robo grabs this puck. And what I love about Robo, he does not expect his first shot to go in.
No, he stays with it.
He stays with it all the time. He follows the shot. Kids listening at 10:42, probably not kids anymore, but, and you're probably,
a lot of kids stay up pretty late now, Luds.
yeah, well, they're watching YouTube, aren't they? They're watching the highlights on YouTube.
Well, it's Friday night. It's also, they've been off of school all week down here for Thanksgiving.
it's Friday night.
Because unlike us, who got
Right.
Thursday and Friday off from school, they get the whole week.
Yeah, I know. Our team's off, too. So, anyway, the point of that whole thing is Robo doesn't expect that first one to go in. He makes sure he follows and goes up to the net just in case there's a rebound, and there it pays off for him.
Stars were really humming at that point. Great surge, and it looked like maybe they were ready to run the Mammoth out of the building. But Luds, a mistake leads to a 3-on-2 and a goofy goal. But you talk about sticking with it here.
Yeah, Leon again jumps up into the play, and again, somebody tees him up here with this shot. And unfortunately, his stick breaks. And you'd be surprised when your stick breaks, you're discombobulated. But then he actually catches skates. That's what takes him down. Now it turns into a 3-on-2 at the other end of the rink. And we've got a defenseman and a forward back. And they do a pretty good job. Here's where now we get a little bit closer to the net, and we got some issues here. So Krause gets this puck in here, and it falls behind him. He stays with it. He finds a way to get the thing back to the net. And then what happens is McBain and Petrovic, they meet in the crease. And then this is one of the times where Petro gets out-muscled.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, it does not. And McBain is standing right here, and he taps it in, and that's how they get back into the game.
At first, I thought he gloved it in with his hand, but he actually gloves it down and taps it in from about 2 inches. I mean, good play, good heads-up play.
It was surprising on the initial play that Krause just
He completely
just butchered
bungled.
it.
He
Yeah,
overskated
butchered
it, and it looked like it was a 3-on-2 that looked dangerous, turned into nothing. And then he's able to chop it up in the air.
To
and
his credit, he stayed with it and
Yeah,
that's
kept it
what
alive.
creates the goal.
Right before that, I did want to bring up the Sam Steele hooking penalty at 10:48. I call that 2 minutes for being in the vicinity of Nate Schmidt when he trips and falls down by himself.
Yeah.
There was the crowd. They showed the replay. There was no penalty. They got fooled by one, and he went down. But you know what? We talked about the penalty kill earlier.
They're getting it back here.
They made that not an issue tonight of getting hosed on a call and it was no problem. So it's 3-3. And speaking of calls, you don't see this very often. Ian Cole and Kevin Stenlund both get called for tripping during the same stoppage because they got one of them. I think it was Cole was the first one. Yep. And then during the delayed penalty, the other referee gets one on Stenlund. They call both. They get together. A lot of times you see referees say, hey, I had this, I had that. Well, we'll give them the first one, and you're not getting a 5-on. They gave them a 5-on-3, Luds, and they buried it.
Oh, if they're doing that at 5-on-4, and again, you talk about your worst nightmare with these guys coming out here. But what I liked about it, 5-on-3, they're shooting the puck, and a lot of times you kill your own 5-on-3 off.
Miro.
Miro gets one, and
Rantanen had
Rance
one.
gets one, and so now you've got them a bit off guard. Why aren't they passing it around? And here I wasn't sure who Rantanen's shooting to. You've got Hintz standing here as a lefty, and if you watch the goaltender, but on the back of him is Wyatt, who's a righty. But watch the goaltender but I can tell if wherever Rantanen's shooting it, that's who it's meant to go to. He does not miss who he's passing it or shooting it to. But when he releases this, it's going over to Wyatt. But look at the goaltender move. The goaltender,
he's looking for that deflection from Hintz.
He's looking for that from Hintz. And so whether Rantanen had that in his mind or not, but it comes to Wyatt, and what does Wyatt do when he's on the power play? He buries it.
NHL league leading 10th power play goal. Wyatt Johnston has 13 goals, 10 on the power play. He's going to score.
Pick it up 5-on-5.
I mean, I've heard Razor say this on the call, but he could score 30 power play goals this year. The way he's on pace for 40.
I want to say the record is like 36. I don't know. Can somebody Google that?
I could probably look it up, or Ryan could, but as we do it. Let's do our next breakdown before we start looking at stats here, Leds, because it's. You know what?
That's
that's it. Because
we can go.
They went to the third period. Lots of chances.
Yep. Bing bong.
No goals. Super chat time. Leds is in a hurry tonight, folks. So we're going to move right along. But think about that. They scored 7 goals in the first 2 periods combined. I thought for sure we're going to see something. You kept saying, oh, this one's going to overtime. You reverse jinxed it tonight.
I know.
It worked. A lot of times, I thought you're going to dig your own grave there.
I think you got to pick your spots.
All right. Well, let's go to some super chats here as the Stars win it 4-3. They are now winners of 3 in a row and 4. They have points in 5 and points in 17 of 19. Think about that. They're a wagon right now.
Rolling.
All right. Well, we got a bunch, lads. So I don't think we can do it in 2 minutes, but we'll try. Spit and Chicklets with a Heiskanen 99. Hey, this is formerly ER93OS. I thought I'd change her the name since Owen always struggled with it. Right, because you never explained what you want. How do you want me to pronounce it? Woo! Go Stars. Love the Otter Eagle mask. It is a good-looking mask.
Yep.
Biden's diaper with a Heiskanen and Rantanen. Crazy how the stress level is so low when down 2-0. It is remarkable.
That's how they feel, too, though. I mean, when the fans don't know what they got the feeling, the players have it more than you do.
Marshall second with a Madonna 99 cup here. As a fan, the way this team can come back from anything keeps me engaged in games I may otherwise turn off. How did the Stars develop this trait?
Hey, that's good for advertising, isn't it? I mean, get them ads in there because you can never walk away from a game.
Talk hockey with me with a DeSmith and 99 cup here. Never doubted for a second. Go Stars. See, we're getting a trend here. Marshall second with a Heiskanen 99. Refinish Mafia hoodie. I would buy a DLLS Stars hoodie. Well, we're working on that. We're trying our best. Our favorite, Craig's Buttwig, a Lundqvist and Ludwig. Craig, talk us through that snipe you had to go up 2-1 back in game 2 of the 99 finals. Greasy stuff from the big guy. Didn't know you were a sniper. Oh,
I think that hit 3 people on the way in. I'm not sure. That was against Buffalo and Hasek, right?
Yeah.
I always say Hasek.
I mean, in the final.
Yeah, it was, but I didn't think it was game 2. I thought it was in. Well, anyway, regardless, yeah, that was the first goal in 166 games or something like that. Somebody kept track of that.
By the way, Spit and Chicklets appreciated the Ric Flair woo I said earlier. We are up to I Love Misty 1985 with a Madonna and 99 cup here. Glad my first Stars game in person since the Western Conference Final was a win, but kind of annoyed they had to come back from being down 0-2 again. Would be better on my psyche if they stopped falling behind early in games. But remember that they do that and they're 5-1.
And everybody's going to be sticking around games. No, you never leave a Stars game.
Nor should you.
Never leave it till the end.
Ardell with a Ludwig and a Petrovic. Vote for Petro t-shirt. Make it happen, GM Ben.
Yeah, and you got to come up with something creative for him. I'm not sure what it would be.
Well,
but
he's saying vote for Petro. You have not seen the movie Napoleon Dynamite.
yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
do you
is
remember
years
the
ago.
t-shirt
No, I
that
don't.
said vote for Pedro?
Oh, I
That's
remember you
what
guys talking about it.
He's
Yeah, okay.
suggesting do a vote for Petro. That's what he wants.
All right.
Luds, we hit ourselves on time. We don't have to hit overtime. How about that?
Love it.
So, Black Friday, help us out. Buy the shirts. We are off tomorrow. We have a, 4:15 pregame show for a 5 o'clock game.
24 people coming
Stars
over tomorrow.
and
I'm not.
Senators on Sunday at the AAC. We get to see Brady Tkachuk in action. Should be a lot of fun. For Luds,
There'll be a dust up.
for Sam over at the AAC, for Ryan Vaughters, our producer. By the way, Ryan's off for our show on Sunday, so Tanner's going to be filling in. So be nice to him.
Sorry.
I'm Owen. Thanks for all the stuff. Go Stars here on DLLS.
I like hot times with men.
We all silly like the mayor.